15 Westerns. Do you have another gear, dude?
Yeah, it is what it is, Steve.
You guys want to join? I'm not going to join any man's club unless it's got like chicks in it and stuff.
This looks stupid.
This is what I find my best friend and my ex-best friend in rubber bath toys.
Happened in the 90s.
Dude, I got to get on this, man. And we kind of talked about it before, but like maybe it's a generational thing, but Clint Eastwood was never my thing, like ever.
Dude, I can't think of one good thing that God bless Dirty Harry, Steve. God bless the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's Sergio Leone, it's like it's the guy making it. And, for what it is, people like Clint Eastwood, go for it. I don't give a fuck, Steve.
Thank you.
The shit I've seen's been trash. And the shit he directs, fucking trash.
Could care less. I mean, props, because like you've been in the game for a while. The man's 95 now, and he made a movie like 2 years ago, which is crazy. So shout out to that. But more than likely it sucked, or it just didn't appeal to me. Like the movie we're going to talk about, it got a lot of accolades. I slept through that shit damn near.
I mean, it's I feel like that, especially this one, it's like for this is what he's getting all these accolades for. This one, like, it's not even a good Western.
Tombstone's way better.
Shit, hell yes, Steve.
5 times better.
I'll watch that 50 times before I watch this bullshit again. The Young Guns is better than Unforgiven, dude.
And Young Guns too.
Yeah, I'll take them both. Lou Diamond Phillips and Emilio, hell yeah. Clint Eastwood, like, these goddamn Chinese. Gran Torino, it was just him being racist against Asians the whole. It was like, okay, Clint,
yeah,
chill this fucking shit out a little bit, all right?
Get off my lawn unless you're landscaping it.
Chimichanga. He just says things that don't make any sense. Like, all right, dude. He's more like, to me, has been just like this famous person and that people made jokes on, and we all knew it because of like everyone does it. Like, it's a good impersonation, but the guy, like, tell me something great he's made other than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
It's because of the director, man. Dirty Harry, like I said, I'll give you that. And I guess he had some joints in the 80s. But if you look, okay, we were born in 83. So I looked on the Wikipedia and it's like, damn, things in my lifetime I either haven't seen or never gave a fuck. I never gave a fuck about $1 Million Baby, if we're keeping it all the way 100.
It's not a terrible movie, but it's not like something I'm like rushing to be like, this is cinema gold. Great. Fucking made a movie. Like, it's not good. Like, it's not entertaining. And the guy himself is a lunatic, Steve. So take the movies, take the guy, Clint Eastwood, fucking kick rocks, old man.
Yeah, talking to a chair is the most entertaining thing you've
done. I was gonna point that. I was like, I don't need to just throw that in the mix, but
fuck it.
Fucking, that's the best and most entertaining thing because you looked like a lunatic. You looked like an idiot. Everyone laughed, and it was great.
Yeah, we're having a Clint Bash. Clint Bash 2025. Talk shit on a 95-year-old man.
What the hell are these fucking guys doing?
15 Westerns. Do you have another gear, dude?
Yeah, it is what it is, Steve. You're getting Clint. He ain't gonna wow you with some like he disappeared into the role. It's like, hell no. It's just this old man going, give me fucking what's his face from Batman, the guy that's like, yeah. Like, I'd rather have him than Clint. You know what I'm talking about. Fuck.
Robert Wolf?
Robert Wolf.
I'd rather see Arliss.
Yeah, dude. Throw Arliss in the mix for sure, for sure. Jack Palance is who I'm thinking of.
Wasn't he in the Billy Crystal movie, City
Slickers?
Shit,
City Slickers. I'll watch City Slickers before
both
that.
of them.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, so to sum up my synopsis of everything that we like, my whole Clint Eastwood joie de vivre, basically, Steve, is that if you're our age, you could give a shit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Unless you're a cinema snob, and then you're like, it's his camera work in American Snipers, second to none.
Or if you're one of those people that have a hard-on for Westerns, Probably wear cowboy boots too. Yeah.
Watch fucking Tombstone, then, you chud.
This son of a bitch was even in a movie called Space Cowboys, and I don't know if that's like the exact thing that happened in the movie, but like maybe
No,
that
it's
was
not. You know what that movie's about, Steve? Old men that get shot up into space. That's it.
maybe that was the stipulation. I'm only going to get on if there's a cowboy involved in the title. Like, so it's Clint Eastwood. He's like, who are these fucking extraterrestrials? Get them off my lawn.
Get out of here, you alien. Yeah, I mean, you know what? He's 95, Steve. So salute to an elder statesman, but I'm not buying a ticket to Clint Eastwood, man.
Yeah, it's just your movie suck. This is Steve G and Mad G, what happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your crisscross tapes and your Chris Carter jerseys, because groove is in the house. Groove is in the house. Groove is in the house.
Picturing us in a 90s club with this music playing is hilarious to me. I can't picture me doing it, but just seeing Steve in like an ill-fitting Michael Jordan suit, just going crazy to delight.
While getting my Roxbury on.
Party monster, the Steve G tale.
Well, today, my friend, we're talking all things August 7th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, D-Light would release World Click. This is the one with Groove is in the house.
I never knew who was responsible for that song, Steve. Love that song. And because this was on the show, I was listening to this while working out today.
Nice.
And I'm not into dance music, which I feel like that's kind of what this is. I was into it, honestly. I was getting
Probably
it.
just this song, though.
No, I just started from song one. So the Delight theme song or something at the beginning, which was dope. I'm with the numbers. I don't know the names of the songs, but
Power of Love.
that was a good one. It's decent. It's not going to get on the playlist every day, but as something you're randomly listening to, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think you'd really get into it if you were in the house or dance. These guys and gal are considered one of the top acts in that genre of all time, man. I do remember they were the musical guest on an SNL episode with host Roseanne, and that was pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Dig the style. The album art's cool. Again, this was not something young 7-year-old me was clocking, but that one was on the radio constantly back in the day. So Groove is in the Heart, obviously. We're all just gyrating to that back in 1990. But yeah, dude, you throw me something and go, hey, here's a club, like some house music or some dance music. I'd be like, shit. But I was pleasantly surprised, dude. It's better than a Clint Eastwood movie. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, I smoke a whole bag of that. In 1992, Three Ninjas premieres. Each year, three brothers visit their grandfather for the summer. He is highly skilled in ninjutsu, and for years he has trained the boys in his technique. Directed by John Turteltaub, starring Victor Wong, Michael Trainer, Max Elliott Slade, and Chad Power.
Steve, do you realize John Turteltaub also directed the John Travolta movie Phenomenon that we recently talked about? So this man's got a pretty wide range of movies here, but I don't know about you, but I was a Three Ninjas-aholic as a little kid. What was the name of the fat one? Tum Tum.
Tum Tum.
I wanted to be Tum Tum for a while. This was kind of riding the coattails of Ninja Turtles, kind of giving us a taste of some ninjutsu and stuff. And I like the idea of a grandfather with just these little kids, just training them to be just legit assassin killers, Steve. That's really what this is.
And not only is it trailing the Ninja Turtles' reign, but it's on the tail end of Home Alone. And I miss this era of films when you had kids just outsmarting adults. You don't get that anymore, man. You know, you had the Home Alones, you had the Three Ninjas. Cop and a Half was another one. You have to suspend the disbelief and all of that, but it just represented a good time. It's a feel-good movie you can watch in the daytime on a Saturday. You even have to suspend the disbelief on the grandfather. Both parents are white, all the kids are white. So that was never explained how you found this Japanese grandfather. There's no backstory. It's like, all right, you have to ignore that too.
What was the name of the bride's teacher in Kill Bill? It's that level of like a ninja master. He's just like this old guy that wasn't the same guy in Big Trouble in Little China.
As well as the Golden Child.
Yes. So, I mean, this guy's a legend. Victor Wong, I believe is his name, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Victor Wong.
And as a kid, you said it yourself, like watching a kid outsmart adults. And not only that, in this movie, they're doing that, they're also whooping the shit out of adults too. In a cool way. They're throwing ninja kicks. They're doing little schemes to team up on them. So it's everything you want as a little boy, especially. You're just like, hell yeah. I'd love to fucking
Things that you overlooked. You completely overlooked as a kid. Like they even beat up the final boss, like the bigger like Asian dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like underlying this, like you take this 10, 15 years in the future, this is like a Kill Bill squad of assassins. That's just it's a family affair, Steve.
And Rocky can't even dunk. He can dunk. Like, get this kid a contract. He's like 9, and he's schooling him.
Yeah, and he'll kick the ball into the fucking hoop. He's got that level of skills. Rocky, I'm telling you, I was a little Tum Tum fan. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Eating and just kicking the shit out of some adults. I love that.
I was more of a Rocky guy. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
Three Ninjas, this one, I'm all about it. The one with Hogan, it's not great. They started to really kind of take a shit, but this first one, I was all in. I mean, this was on the fucking VHS list. I had this. And if I wasn't watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 or 2, this was definitely in the rotation.
Yeah, I think Victor Wong is the only person to appear in all 3, too.
Hey, man. Grandpa's not fucking around, dude. The kids, they can change the kid. Don't change grandpa. But I do want a DNA test on that. I want to see the 23andMe that goes from the 2 white-ass parents to Grandpa Victor Wong over here. Like, where does that connection come from?
Is this a completely different tree? Did y'all skip trees? But also, I always love when it's an obvious double. Like there were a couple times when the grandpa he's getting it in, doing his ninjutsu. It's like, but if you paid close attention, you could see a different person's face because we know Victor Wong ain't getting down like that. But
he's doing flips and shit. He's all he somehow gained 3 inches of height. He's not all old and fucking stiff.
Oh, dude, it never fails. Just like the fake people, dude. Do you know of the old Michael Jordan commercial? Switching topics here, but like there was a Michael Jordan, I think it was a car commercial, Jordan's mom challenge. But like, dude, when they cut to Jordan's mom on the basketball court, you could clearly see it was a guy wearing a jumpsuit. It's a guy. That's like the most famous of that, I think.
I mean, that we've mentioned many times when they throw like a dead body and it's just like a mannequin body, how funny that is. That's right there with it. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood when the grannies are dancing in the church and then it just turns it's just a young guy just dancing. It's great in a dress.
And doing backflips. But on that same day in 1992, Raising Cain premieres. The oncologist wife of a prominent child psychologist suspects her husband has an unhealthy scientific obsession with their child, unaware of what or who is really going on inside his head. Directed by Brian De Palma, starring John Lithgow, Lolita Davidovich, Steve Bauer, Francis Sternhagen. Ya boy.
Dude, I was fully into the idea of this. Like, dude, this is going to be fun. Stephen Bauer, Lithgow, a couple other favorites. De Palma directing. This is probably going to be a home run. Steve, that's not the case. This is not one of De Palma's best. This is not one of Lithgow's best. I'm just not into it, Steve. I like multiple personality movies. I dig that sometimes, but in this, it's hilarious.
So he wasn't a formidable heel to you?
Dude, him and Cliffhanger, fantastic. Okay. Scary. Blowing people away. This, it's just like because you see him as like this cuck dude that's the Carter character, the Carter personality, where he's like, oh God, I'm just so tired. And then the Lithgow smoking a butt's like, shut up, you fucking puss. I'll take care of this. And then somebody's dead. It didn't play well. And that's mixed in with Stephen Bauer's shitty acting and him trying to fuck Lithgow's wife constantly, fucking her in the middle of a park, Steve.
Hey, sometimes you just got to get it cracking.
I guess, but you better fucking get more well hidden because Lithgow's creepy ass is why. Well, there's two people watching you actually, and one of them smoking a cigarette, looking super cool.
Well, my opinion is the complete opposite. I love John Lithgow's performance in this. You know, as someone who's more familiar with his comedic stuff, like I think he pulled this off. It creeped me out, especially in the end where the daughter's like, he's still here. And then she hugs the mom, and you see John Lithgow in a dress. That part creeped me the hell out, man. You know, Stephen Bauer, I just always thought he was a cool dude because he was Manolo. I can't think of another example where one person is just famous for one role, but it's all good because that one role was so badass. And I feel like that's the case with Stephen Bauer for me.
I mean, Manolo, yes. Manny, Scarface, fuck yeah. We all love that. I just happen to know a little bit more personally about Stephen Bauer, the man. So not a huge fan of that.
It's
We don't need to go into that. What's up, Steve? What's up? I know you're doing well. Here's the thing, Steve. Multiple personalities, sure. Lithgow with hair, okay. It's a stretch. And also, I got to point out, De Palma has a hard-on for guys in dresses killing people because there's another movie. I have to look up his thing, but a famous elevator scene where a guy in a dress stabs the fuck out of a bitch. Something to Kill, but Dress to Kill maybe is the name of it. So, okay. I see where you're going with the ending, and it really is a tour de force of Lithgow acting because he's playing like fucking 10 different people in this movie. But to me, when I expect De Palma, I expect a lot of split screens, a lot of style. And I feel like in this movie, that's kind of less. And the acting, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it that much, Steve. But shout out. I mean, it's not you liked it, so it's 1 out of 2, Steve. That ain't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Lithgow did all the heavy lifting, and now that I think about it, nobody else could really like step up to the plate like Lithgow did. He did like all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and the way Bauer was acting in it, melodramatic, but it's like soap opera-ish almost. Like his
Made for TV.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like I said, this is De Palma. This guy made Scarface. He made The Untouchables. He's made a bunch of great fucking movies, including another one we're going to talk about later. But this one, I feel like it's a miss. And Lithgow is he's good at Psycho. He did it in Dexter, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I know of his work in that. And like I said, even if you look at Cliffhanger, dude, he plays a great Psycho in that movie and chews the fuck out of the scenery.
On that same day in 1992, Unforgiven premieres. Retired Old West gunslinger Will Money reluctantly takes on the one last job to avenge an injustice with the help of his old partner and a young would-be gunman calling himself the Schofield Kid. Directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris.
You mentioned Space Cowboys.
Yeah.
And it's a movie about old men going into space. They should have just called this Land Cowboys and made it a part of like a whole thing about old men doing different shit because that's really what this is. It's an old man Western. Everyone in it's old. Clint's a fucking old man. He's tired. He's failing. He used to fucking do shit, but now he's got some bitch ass kids and stuff. So he takes that last mission, Steve.
They gotta be bitch ass kids.
They're bitch ass kids, Steve. They need to be helping out more. This guy's
They have no mommy.
Well, they can help out then. They got a daddy, help him out. He's struggling. It's enough that he wants to go kill some people. But here's a bright spot of this movie, and it's usually the case. Morgan Freeman's good in this. Gene Hackman's decent in it, but I don't remember him being like anything like crazy to me. I don't really remember. Like this movie is just not memorable.
Not to me.
I don't want to shit on it constantly and go like 20 minutes and go, this movie blows. But, if you want to watch a movie about old men, watch Grumpy Old Men. If you want to watch a Western, watch Tombstone. Just, unless you just have a hard on for Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. And there it is. In 1995, Beavis and Butthead are airing season 5, episode 36, Bang the Drum Slowly, Dumbass. The understanding teachers at Highland High aren't quite so understanding when Beavis, the yammerer, joins their drum circle.
This is Van Driesen heavy, Steve.
He should have got his own spinoff.
He had a great song on the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack called Lesbian Seagull that I always enjoyed. It was very funny.
I remember that.
Lesbian Seagull. And this is a very musical episode too, involving this guy. So clearly, Mr. Van Driesen has a lot of music in his heart. Beavis and Butthead have a lot of time on their hands because they're just walking through the woods, because we all did that as kids, Steve, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead of finding like a stack of weird old pornos in the woods, they find a weird group of old men just drumming in the woods, which I don't know I know what's better, but I feel like that's kind of a creepy thing, Steve.
They hear the drums first, and then they see the teachers having a drum circle, and Van Driesen spots them out. We're talking about recruiting, and we could use some new members. You guys want to join? I'm not going to join any man's club unless it's got like chicks in it and stuff.
This looks stupid. But, they're out there suppressing their rage, Steve. They're just having some guy time. No holds barred. You just can talk about stuff because it's just a bunch of guys. It's just Pete, They got war paint on for some reason. I don't get that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, because they're tools. Being in nature without women is the perfect way to wrestle with your manhood. Beavis always wrestles with his manhood. Yeah, and I usually win.
And now Beavis and Butthead have been co-opted into this man group, and Butthead's actually like in the drum circle. His Def Com poetry jam session, Steve, is just about how the group sucks.
Yeah.
Basically. He's like, this is stupid.
This sucks.
See, Butthead, it doesn't suck because we hear your feelings and it's totally fine. We hear you. And then Beavis steps in. Butthead, he's got his point across. He feels good. So Beavis steps in and he really ramps it up a notch. He's been suppressing a lot, apparently, and it all starts pouring out of him once the bongos start. And it's a lot about how chicks are disrespecting him. And it's kind of just like a cry for help because he wants to destroy Steve. He's in a rage.
They never like me. They never let me see their boobs.
I walk up to him and they just slap me in the face. He's feeling it, Steve. And now everyone else in the group's kind of getting creeped out by this. And even Van Driesen's squad is like, actually, dude, this does suck. We're going to go. Yeah. This kid's creeping us the fuck out. He's
in the zone.
Pussy. We get a little insight into the Beavis mind, Steve.
I think after that, it's like the next day in school. Where's Beavis?
Beavis, Steve. He's still in those woods, rocking it. He didn't even know anybody left. He's still talking about the rage in his heart, the boner in his pants, and the women he's not sexing. And then he realizes he's alone and just leaves.
Your turn, Butthead.
Butthead.
But in 1998, Snake Eyes premieres. Corrupt Atlantic City police officer Rick Santoro and Navy Commander Kevin Dunn join forces to investigate both the assassination of Secretary of Defense Charles Kirkland and the disappearance of a beautiful stranger. Directed by Brian De Palma, starring Nicolas Cage, Gary Sinise, John Hurd, Carla Cugino, Stan Shaw, and Kevin Dunn.
Now, this is a more palatable De Palma movie, Steve. And I would say that I don't feel like this movie got rave reviews. I think people kind of thought it was a little bit wacky, but this gives you everything that you want out of a De Palma movie. A lot of split screens, a lot of weird like point of view perspective, like first person shots in this. And I think they pulled off a movie where it's basically all in this one spot and they're just showing you different angles of this shit as you figure out like this crime unravels before in the movie. And as I watched it this time, I actually have more respect for this now than I did back in the day, I feel like.
And it had a good villain in Gary Sinise. I feel like he did it justice. It's kind of confusing when I'm reading the description of the movie because the character's name is Kevin Dunn, but you have a real Kevin Dunn as one of the performers. There was actually a mix up because of that. Gary Sinise was supposed to get like star treatment, going to the 5-star hotels and rest, but that actually ended up being Kevin Dunn because of some confusion. And they eventually, once they figured it out, the real actual Kevin Dunn ended up going to like Best Western or some shit.
Damn. Kev Dunn got screwed. There's like some really cool people in it. Louis Guzman's in it, which I love. He's funny in it. Nicolas Cage. I mean, there's really no good people in this. Nicolas Cage is kind of like a scumbag. He's like a shitty cop in Atlantic City. I mean, he is a corrupt cop. So like his whole trajectory in this movie is to go from a guy who was robbing Louis Guzman's drug dealer at the beginning to pay off some Atlantic City like mob dudes to by the end he's like, trying to protect this woman that Gary Sinise is trying to kill.
This is the era of the anti-hero.
And this is another De Palma thing. There is like a 20-minute shot at the beginning of this movie, the opening of this, where they're just following Nicolas Cage through the place.
Yeah.
That's all one shot, and that's like a very De Palma thing. And there's like a quality to this I think was lacking in the other movie we were talking, Raising Cain. I did look a little bit into this because I when I was looking it up and after I watched it, I was trying to find some like videos like about details and whatnot. But I didn't know that the ending had been changed significantly from what De Palma actually wanted to do originally. People from the top fucking with this movie quite a bit.
Of course.
So I think De Palma isn't even really happy with the finished product because, like, in his version or the original version of this, instead of what happens, there's like a huge tidal wave at the end to wipe everything out, which is bizarre. And I think maybe they changed that for that reason. But I don't know. I just think this movie's kind of technically great. I think there's probably some stuff that's lackluster in it, but I enjoy it.
I feel like there's been a thing that we've done on this show where an actor will have a movie in like 92 and then 98, and then the next week the actor will be in a movie we'll cover like in 95 or something. And I kind of feel like that's the case with Kevin Dunn because he's in this movie and we recently talked about him in Small Soldiers. This is Brian De Palma's sweet spot, I guess, because he got 2 movies that came out on the same date in 2 different years in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, the 90s and the late 80s were really De Palma's sweet spot. But yeah, Kevin Dunn, dude, he was the pack mule of the 90s. You need a fucking just quality actor to step in. Call Kevin Dunn. He's got to be rich. He's there. He was even in like that Godzilla movie. He was in Almost Heroes, Steve.
Yeah, see, and that's another one we talked about like last month or something.
Yeah, he was in the Marlon Wayans classic, The Sixth Man. There's many more movies that De Palma's made better than this. And like I said, I don't think I had as much respect for this. I've always liked Nicolas Cage. I liked Brian De Palma, and I think you get a lot of good stuff of both of them in this. But this one, as I got older, I enjoyed this more than I did as a kid, to be honest with you.
That following year, 1999, SpongeBob SquarePants is airing Season 1, Episode 4, Naughty Nautical Neighbors in Boating School. Tired of his annoying neighbors, Squidward turns SpongeBob and Patrick against each other. Later, SpongeBob tries to pass his boating test. Hilarity ensues.
I just have to point out Naughty Nautical Neighbors just sounds like a porno, Steve. That sounds like a softcore pornography.
That's how we hear it to kids. They're like, Naughty Nautical Neighbors, can't wait.
But yeah, this first one, Squidward trying to play a little mental warfare with his neighbors, Patrick and SpongeBob. And they're like burping or something, like bubbles, and including little messages. They're blowing bubbles, and they're including little like messages in those bubbles. It's very nice.
He sees these bubbles coming through the window. They're popping all over his souffle, messing up the texture, the taste, and everything.
Deflate his fucking souffles, Steve. Do you know how fucking hard that is?
It ain't easy.
Bubbles, dude, in my shit. The bubbles are filled with these little messages, and I don't want to hear that shit. Like, you're cool. It's like, shut up, dude. I'm trying to fucking watch some fucking porn on my phone. Its neighbors suck.
Man.
Squidward, He does what he needs to do. He throws a couple errand bubbles each way with some shitty messages, and I'm like, fucking smell, dude.
Patrick, you're the dumbest motherfucker ever.
And he gets them fucking pissed off at each other. The shit works, Steve. And he comes out as they're starting to argue. And I like this pettiness. He gets them both to start getting pissed off at each other, pulls a seat up outside, and just enjoys the souffle as he watches these two friends just fucking go up in flames. It's pretty awesome.
Hey, well, you're a turkey. What's that? Oh, that's what you are.
Bitch. You know, Steve, sometimes these like little mental warfare games that you play kind of double back on you because now these two friends hate each other. But now they need another friend.
Squidward, he almost choked on a fork and it's just stuck in his throat. So Patrick, he sees this. So he starts doing some CPR to the point where it inflates Squidward. But as he deflates, that fork finally comes out. And Squidward's like, man, you saved my life.
Cool. He says something that's like, thanks, friend. You said it. You said it. Fuck. And now Patrick is, I mean, they're best friends, Steve, as far as Patrick's concerned.
What are we going to do now, best friend?
SpongeBob, he sees these guys hanging out. Now he has FOMO. Patrick's being a bitch.
What's Squidward's instrument? Is it a piccolo or flute?
It looked like Kenny G's jazz sax to me, but I think maybe they say piccolo, to be honest with you. He's trying to serenade Patrick with the little sultry sounds of whatever that is, Steve.
And Patrick's like, yeah, let's go for it. Then Squidward starts playing and then dude just falls asleep.
Squidward has to get this gigantic guy out of his house because, you know, he's got another souffle to eat. He actually hurts his back trying to get Patrick back to the house. So SpongeBob sees this, sees his opening, does a little like Honda torpedo move into Squidward and somehow it just fixes his back. And now they're best friends, see?
Hey, thank you, friend. And then SpongeBob is like, yeah, so Patrick wasn't a good friend. I'll perform for you. So he takes Squidward's violin. Then he starts playing it like a guitar. Patrick shows up and it pisses him off. So he starts bashing the violin. It's just like, you want me to clean that up?
And he also somehow like he's using like the violin thing and shoots that into some painting in Squidward's. They just are like tearing shit up. He realizes he's in a bind now because now he's got both of these idiots bothering him constantly. So he's like, we got to figure this out. I got to get these guys back together. Can't handle this.
Somehow Patrick ends up in Squidward's tub. SpongeBob's like, this is what I find my best friend and my ex-best friend in rubber bath toys.
Yeah, God only knows, Steve. Like, that's the ultimate betrayal. You know what I mean? Bathtub time? That's not cool.
I'm just going to invite these two to a dinner party.
They show up, but it's one of those things where they're like, hey, oh, you're here. You know, They didn't realize it. So they're stuck. And now Squidward's just plying them with sodas. You know, he's like, oh, you know, guys, talk amongst yourselves, fill up, make yourselves at home. And they fill up on sodas, Steve. He shows up at one point and they're just bloated.
They drink his whole supply. Now, since they're both full of soda, they start blowing bubbles again. And when Squidward leaves, I think he left to get something. And then
get more soda, Steve.
They soda.
They busted it out. So they start burping together, even though they're pissed. At first they're like, shut up. And then it's funny, Steve. It's like farts. At some point, you just got to start laughing. You got to admit it.
So with all those fart bubbles and burp bubbles and the fact that they're just like bloated, they ended up destroying Squidward's house.
Yeah, fully. I mean, it's gone, Steve. This shows being an evil person. It just doesn't. Karma exist. You know what I mean? Yeah. But honestly, he's cool with it. Squidward's he's just happy that he doesn't have to deal with these two idiots in his house anymore, even if he doesn't have a house. That's how miserable of a person he is. This is what I'm turning into, a hermit that just wants to be left alone, Steve.
I can relate to Squidward, but up next is boating school. And SpongeBob, he's sound asleep until his blowhorn alarm goes off. This is it, Gary.
This is it. He ain't getting laid, Steve. He's taking the driving test.
Yeah, the boating exam.
Boating exam, which is weird because boating underwater, Steve, but it is what it is. Let's suspend disbelief. It's March 3rd. It's the big day. I remember this. This was everything, Steve. When you were about ready to take this test, this was a big one.
Yeah, it took me 3 tries.
It took me 2. And a really just bad conversation with the lady who failed me the first time. You know, I was shortchanged, but I don't want to get into it. But, you know, he's confident, Steve.
He's ready.
He's ready to go. No brainer. This is an ace in the hole. He does have to take his little unicycle thing because we've all been there, Steve. You lose the car, you got to ride the bike every once in a while. And that's where he's at right now. That's why he's taking the test.
And he's so cocky about it. He just throws his bike away. Like, I'm not going to need this anymore.
Bullshit. You guys want this? Crabs want this? Somebody that's not ready for this is Mrs. Puff, who owns the boating school. All the confidence that SpongeBob has, it's the exact opposite with this lady. She's not looking forward to this. It almost seems like she's been through this. It's like, are you sure you think this is going to be it? And even some guy who gets his license, as SpongeBob walks in, SpongeBob's like, yeah, I'm about to get my license too. And even that guy, he's like, you sure about that?
Yeah, you know you're not. But he's getting the like oral part of the exam. He's getting all the answers before she even asked the questions. He's kind of like Rosie Perez on Jeopardy.
This is not his first time. He's remembered it all, Steve.
Yeah.
The 90s questions I read you, at some point you're going to remember those. You just keep asking them.
It kind of reminds me of when I took my test. I got that part. That was never a problem. It's when the field test occurred. It's like, oh, can never get that reversed around a cone. That's what always killed me.
Oh, see, the parallel parking thing I lost on my driving test, Steve. Somebody gave me a go ahead on the left turn, and the lady failed me because I took it. You know what I mean? And I can even remember the intersection. See, remember that Burger King that was in front of BG?
I do.
Right there at that big intersection. There's a light there with no left turn, or at least there wasn't a left turn. And I took it because a guy went, go for it. I pulled into the place high as a kite, like just like SpongeBob. Like I'm going to be driving tonight. Are you kidding me?
Today's the day.
And I
Gary.
got in there, and she's like, my dad's like, how'd you do? I'm like, I think I did it. And then the lady came by, and she's like, you failed. You took a left when you should have yielded. I was so pissed, Steve. I got real spicy with that old woman. But SpongeBob's about to take that driving test, and all that confidence he had, all those answers, all the perfect shit that's gone on, it all goes away as soon as he's about to even get in the car, Steve.
What's the first thing you do? 1924?
Oh, fuck. Floor it? And he floors it, Steve. Backs up into something, maybe a lighthouse. I don't know what the fuck. Breaks that shit and makes Mrs. Puff up because she's injured, Steve. She might have whiplash or some shit.
Mrs. Puff up.
Failed test, Steve. We do eventually find out that this is about his 40th try at this. That's why he's not very confident. But SpongeBob, he has his little pet Gary, the snail. He's talking to him, and he's like, dude, I don't even know what happened, man.
He's lost his mojo, but his buddy Patrick's right there to cheer him up. And he knocks on the door. He's like, I got a surprise. It's late. What do you want? So he eventually opens up the door. He's like, Patrick Squarepants.
That's a good friend, though, Steve. I like that. But Patrick also comes with a good idea, Steve, because he's like, what's going on here? And SpongeBob kind of explains what's going on. He's like, well, why don't we just take the thinking out of the equation? Yeah. And he jams a radio in SpongeBob's head, even though there's a little antenna popping out, which SpongeBob points out. So he puts a cowboy hat on it, which I love. That's very like Little Rascals, very, it's quick thinking.
Patrick, all of a sudden, like, where did this 4D chess play come in? Like, you're ace in the hole all of a sudden.
Take this motherfucker to Vegas, Steve, because he's all about that like secret communication. But he's like, look, you're going to go there, and I'm just going to tell you what to do. You're not even going to think about it. He gets there. Mrs. Puff gives him the same shitty energy that she always has given him because there's a track record here, Steve. She's about to possibly be in some kind of a crash. She's not looking forward to it. And even SpongeBob, he starts tightening up immediately. But Now he's got Patrick in his ear, and Patrick's like, "Stop, sit the fuck," and he just tells him straight up what to do. Basically, gets him past the point where it was a problem before, Steve. And this shit's working great.
Even giving Miss Puff an apple just to start it off right on a good note. And now when she asks, "What's the first thing you do?" Patrick's right there to say, "Start the boat." But Mrs. Puff is traumatized because even after SpongeBob says, "Start the boat," she's like,
Oh! And then she's like, what are you gonna do next? Because this is where it all goes to shit. And SpongeBob's reflex comes out and he's like, "Floor it." Patrick in his ears like, "Stop." Just one big toe. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it, Steve. He gives him the magic mojo, and he's down the hill. He's down the road. He's going good. He even gets to turn 1, which Mrs. Puff's like, "What are you going to do? What the fuck?" And he does it, Steve. Everything's going great.
He's even stopping to walk old people across the street and then hopping back in the boat. He's flexing now. He's feeling himself.
So he's waving. He's giving a parade wave. But then, Steve, this is where the wheels fall off, because SpongeBob is an honest person.
Yeah.
And nowhere in this equation that Patrick set up did he ever really put that this is cheating. He just wanted to get from point A to point B, get that license, figure it out, whenever after that. But as they're going back, he sees the finish line. It's coming up. But Mrs. Puff's like, "It's not like you have a radio in your head and there's an antenna coming up out of your head and you're hiding it with a cowboy hat and somebody's telling you what to do. That would be cheating." And he's like, yeah, yeah, about that. And then it all goes to shit, Steve. He gets nervous. All the confidence, maybe 5 feet to the finish line he had, it goes out the window. He goes this, that, and the other. He crashes, and it's all the big thing. And he even keeps admitting, because he's an honest person, he's like, "I cheated."
While they're going back and forth, him and Mrs. Puff, they're laughing. So Patrick takes that as his cue to start laughing. And so he's so busy laughing that he can't even tend to SpongeBob. He just, he even goes back to his house, like, with the walkie-talkie.
Oh, shit. SpongeBob, he's out of license. He fucked up and gave his bike away, but thankfully Gary brings that back, because Gary's the real one, Steve.
He brings back the bike, and Miss Puff, she gets taken away, squeezed into the ambulance, and SpongeBob's like, "You know what? I'll just try again next semester." And Mrs. Puff is not trying to hear that. And like as they're going away, he's like, "Hey Gary, let's go to the hospital. I know someone who could use a visit."
SpongeBob, Steve. It wasn't on my radar as a kid. As an adult, stoned, it really hits the spot.
Very inspirational, I think, man, because I always appreciate SpongeBob's can-do attitude.
And he's a perfectionist, He wants to do good, even if that's making a Krabby Patty or driving a boat underwater. And he's full of positivity. He's a great friend. And, honestly, he's a homeowner, Steve. So there's something we can, also aspire to.
Any callbacks or honorable mentions, takeaways?
I just wanted to point out something that I just have to give credit where credit's due. I was not looking forward to Happy Gilmore 2, Steve. I was worried. A lot of the stuff that's being brought back or making sequels of things that we loved as 90s kids aren't great. But I got to give Sandler credit, dude. I haven't liked a lot of what he's been making with Netflix.
Yeah, me neither.
This hit the spot.
I agree, man. I love the cameos from John Daly to Cameron. And they even had Stat Baby in there with Cameron. I don't know if you watched the podcast.
Yes, hell yeah. But why isn't Mason there, Steve? Mason get featured.
Probably some contract dispute. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't busy, or maybe he was busy. But yeah, dude. And I like the explanation of the people who aren't with us anymore. Like Chubbs had a son. Lavelle Crawford killed it, by the way.
Hell yeah. My dad loves you, man. Okay. Everybody. I mean, even like John Lovitz is in it. Everybody killed it. They brought back a significant amount of like the golfers that were in the movie, and like the one guy that was the boss of the PGA. And I just thought, for what it was, like they put a little like heart into it with the kids. And yeah, I just got to give him credit. People try to make these things and they try to pull on the heartstrings. And this one, I just feel like they did a pretty good job. So Sandler, thank you, dude. I love that.
And I like the inclusion. I know he's not the favorite of a lot of football fans, especially AFC fans, but Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
Ohio representative, and
Oh,
Bad
yeah.
Bunny. I like some Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. I don't even know who Bad Bunny is, but he was funny in it, dude.
He's got
Even
some
fucking what's his face? Haley Joel Osment was hilarious in it too, dude.
Forrest Gump Jr. Yeah, looking like Al
So
Borland.
the next thing I want is for Adam Sandler, and I know this makes no sense because CDs don't exist anymore, but to make a comedy album with like the skits. I want to see that again. I would love that because that was one of my favorite things of Adam Sandler that I don't feel like people like now even remember, like know about it because they were so wacky.
He's so far removed from that era, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Happy Gilmore too. I agree, man. I'm apprehensive about remakes or things based off of stuff that came from the 90s, but this one he did it justice.
Suck my white ass ball.
Man. So was that it, man?
That's it. And also shout out to like you said, them paying homage to the dead people. Even Bob Barker showed up in it posthumously. Like they threw everybody into it. And that was something that I think is kind of cheesy sometimes, but I don't know. For whatever reason, maybe it's because I love the franchise, but it just worked for me. So that's it.
Now this is something that we haven't done on the show in a while, but I feel like this time, like I have to address it because the past week has not been kind to 80s baby / 90s kids. And I want to go in order. Now, Malcolm Jamal Warner, that really rocked me because it was unexpected. He seemed to be in good shape, good health. And, I wouldn't expect him to be the first Huxtable casualty. From all accounts, everybody that's ever worked with him, who's ever known the man, they had nothing but positive things to say. And coming from someone who was a child star, he was able to make it through that, kept his nose clean. There was never any smut on that brother's name. And very just positive, man. Like he represented the black kid in the 80s, man. We didn't have that much representation. I mean, unless you're talking about like the Willises from Different Strokes. But I mean, outside of that, Todd Bridges and Gary Coleman, like Theo was the next thing, man. And I think not just black kids, I think, kids in general, teenagers in general, because white households were watching that show too,
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah, dude. I mean, he was just like a kid in the night. He was like the prototypical kid in the 90s, like from sitcoms. We all wanted to be Theo in some way, dude. I thought he was cool as fuck as a kid.
Trying to hide shit from your parents, getting your ears pierced. One of your buddies is smoking a cigarette, so you have to cover up for him. And bringing it back to Adam Sandler, they interviewed him, and him and Malcolm Jamal Warner were actually good friends because that's where Adam Sandler got his start. I think that predates his Going Overboard movie and any of the stuff he did in the 90s, man. He was one of Theo's buddies in high school, along with Cole, Cockroach. But, man, R.I.P. to a legend, man. And it's unfortunate.
So unexpected, dude. Like that's one of the. It's tough enough when these people are dying, where it's like we're getting old, so that's like a whole thing in and of itself. But some of these people, it's like, damn, dude, like that doesn't make any sense. When you sent that on the group chat, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
can't be good. It's not like it was like some natural thing. So that did suck, dude. That definitely hit me hard too, because it's just like one of those things where you're like, damn, he should have been around forever, like as long as us.
Yeah, way longer, man. And also I have to address the Prince of Darkness, Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. Several times imitated but never duplicated. I could say, is the godfather of metal. Because a lot of the guys that we grew up loving in the 90s and even the 80s, your Alice in Chains, your Metallicas, Pantera, Soundgarden, all of these guys, Rage Against the Machine, they were influenced by Black Sabbath in some way. And the fact that he was able to leave that band and create even more hits as Ozzy Osbourne, like as his solo project, from Mr. Crowley, the Crazy Train, Mama, I'm coming home. So like Ozzy, he had so much range, man. He could take you to the dark Black Sabbath shit, and then he could do a ballad. Like
that is true, dude. He doesn't get enough credit for that, but he does also have like a very signature sound too. Like his voice is unmistakable, and also something I don't think, like, I don't want to give him credit for this. The music should speak for itself, but you know, he did play a huge role in reality TV, love it or hate it. Like him and his family, that Osborne show was like one of the biggest things in TV. Like he became a celebrity late in life for absolutely nothing to do with music.
He was introduced to a younger crowd, you know, because there are people like us who already knew about it. And then also Ozfest, he had a festival that happened like, I don't know, maybe in his 50s, 40s, and that went on forever. And that just kind of cements your legendary status even more.
No more tears, Sharon. Yeah, dude, shout out. That was, I mean, it was unexpected, but he got a long life, dude. I feel like he outlasted a lot of his peers, and given his hard lifestyle early on, I think a lot of he probably surprised people with his longevity, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. You make it past 70.
Like a week before he died, I feel like. Didn't he do his last show like a couple weeks ago?
And they had to wheel him out, dude.
I mean, that's apropos, though. I feel like if you're a legendary musician like him, that's almost like the ideal. Like you have your last show, and then a couple weeks later, the lights are out. You know?
Yeah. And now this next one, man, it's been kind of difficult for me because, like, I feel like if it wasn't for this man, a lot of what we do on this podcast wouldn't even be a thing. I feel like our fandom in wrestling probably wouldn't be a thing. Or probably for me, we don't know. And, you know, of course, Vince had a big hand in creating this character, but it takes a certain level of charisma to be able to perform that character and make it what it was. I mean, Vince tried to do it with Ultimate Warrior. He didn't even have the belt for, I don't even know, a full year. But man, the guy who brought me to this party was Hulk Hogan. And you know, it would be disingenuous for me to ignore the stuff that he's done in the past decade or so. You know, I forgot, like, of course, everybody knows about the sex tape and what he said about his daughter dating, you know, but I forgot what he said when his son damn near killed his friend.
No, his son killed his friend, Steve. Yeah. And he was like, he must have done something with God, brother. That I pointed that out to my wife because I was like, you know, and I think I'm saying the same thing you are. Terry Bollea, I have no room in my life for. I don't like that guy. He's a piece of shit. Hulk Hogan, though, dude, he was our hero for at least a solid decade. Longer than that, if you count NWO and stuff. But his character, that persona, that's legendary.
Yeah. Can't take that away from the man.
It sucks that he's a scumbag behind the scenes, but he's just he's wrestling. Like he built it. He's one of the big cornerstones of wrestling.
And we can't overlook that, man. And it hurt when I first heard those audio leaks. It really hurt, man, because there were a lot of fans from the 80s, like 80s babies that you were our hero. And specifically, there were millions of black kids where you were our hero, man, me being one of them. In fact, you were my first hero, Hulk Hogan. Before I even watched real sports, before Michael Jordan and Deion Sanders, before I really got into those cats, you were like, professional wrestling was my ish. And you were at the forefront for years, man. Even when you became heel, I always wanted you to win. You know, even when you were Hollywood Hogan, man, when you went up against Goldberg, when everybody was cheering Goldberg, I wanted Hollywood to win, man.
Hell yes.
Like he was the best at being good, and he was the best at being bad. You know, from being this rock star in the 80s to being in the 90s, he figured a way to stay relevant. Man, I can't take away that, man. But Terry Bollea, you gotta rest in piss, bro. I have to be real with myself, and I have to, like, it was tough, man.
It is. I mean, it is, but that's not it's like, I don't know. You almost feel guilty saying it, but it is true. It's like if I met that guy, Terry Bollea, and then I found out afterwards, like, oh yeah, this guy says racist shit. He did all the, like, this, that, and the other. He's just kind of like a general scumbag. That's the reality of it. But we didn't know that as kids. And we can't help it that for like 10, 15 years of our early life, I was like, this guy's the coolest. I want to be this dude. I know he has hot dog skin. He's bald and has weird doll hair and shit, but I want to be this guy. This guy's a badass. This guy's I think he inspired like a generation of us young dudes.
Yeah,
you know?
totally,
So,
man.
It is tough. And he rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. But like you said, dude, Terry Bollea, like, I'll say less.
One less racist, man. He was the first wrestler to be on Sports Illustrated, first one to host SNL, and even carrying it into the 2000s. And this might have been a misdoing. Actually, it was, man. When he did the Hulk Hogan Knows Best, I think like we could have done without that, man. And like another thing about that phone call with Nick, I forgot the part where he was like, man, I just hope we don't get reincarnated into some black people. I'm paraphrasing, but like, dude, this has nothing to do with black people. Like, what?
Nick was like, yeah, what?
Like, so that's a deep racism when you're trying to like come up with different things and involve us. Like, your son killed his friend who was not black. And by the way, Matt, y'all share birthdays. You and Nick Hogan share birthdays. But off of that tangent, man, Hulk Hogan, man, you're a legend. But anyways, man, I think the viewers, the listeners need to know that it's my friend, my co-host. It's his birthday, man. Matt G turns 42. And, Matt, I got friends in high places sometimes. And, I reached out to a good friend of mine, and he wanted to say happy birthday to you as well. And here we go.
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? It's bruh man from the fifth floor. Look here, me and my man Steve. Want to wish our dude Matt G a very special happy 42nd birthday, my dude. 42 years old, you're still young. So enjoy these young years, because like about 25 more years from now, it's going to be real hard getting in and out that dub. So enjoy these young years. And look here, man, I want to invite you over to the fifth floor. And man, you can sit around eating up a whole lot of like birthday sandwiches. And for dessert, make you a big old double-decker served sandwich with like 42 candles off up on it. Well, now I'll get you like a number 4 candle and a number 2 candle. Cause like 42 of them, that's a whole lot of them. All right, whole lot of them. So celebrate this birthday hard. Matter of fact, celebrate the rest of this month for your birthday, cause you deserve it. All right, cause my man Matt say, man, you're an amazing husband. You're a good friend. You're an amazing husband to your wife Kendra. You're an awesome son to George and Sonia. And we want to send much love to you, my dude.
Bro, man,
we gonna make Steve like a wish sandwich. Like he gonna wish he had some meat to go off up on it. Because it ain't his birthday. It's your birthday, baby boy. And you celebrate hard. Alright? Happy birthday, Matt G. Peace.
Hell yeah, Steve. Hell yeah. That's about the best birthday present I've ever gotten. I love that.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Well, let's leave on that note, man. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister groove is in the heart. Please check out Food Show Fanatics and Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra, our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle, and Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Mad G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
Happened in the
90s. Wish sandwich. Again, I love it, dude.